What's going on, squad? Welcome to the AI News Roundup, the show where we cut through the AI hype and deliver on straight results for medium sized businesses and enterprise leaders. I'm Ernest Provo, your go to AI strategist, and today we're going to be talking October 21st, 2025 news, specifically focused on the Agentic AI takeover. So, from reasoning models that think like pros to tools that are starting to slash costs by up to 30%. If you're a decision maker and tired of failed pilots or the bad news, this episode should be a game changer. So hit that like and subscribe button if you're ready to level up. Subscribe for the weekly drops and drop a comment here. What's your biggest AI roadblock today? Let's start to build a community. There will be timestamps in the description. Jump to whatever you feel necessary or are looking for. We'll have a PowerPoint presentation here going over the details. So if you're ready, let's dive in. So 92% of Fortune 500 companies are already experimenting with artificial intelligence in a major way, but most of them have already moved to AI automation. So we're talking about crazy levels of adoption and implementation into production level workflows. Enterprises like Walmart have already discussed here in the past week of our news cycle that they're implementing ChatGPT into checkouts, and they're working in places that competitors are visibly staying manual, which will be a quick and very robust win for folks like Walmart. It's time to really close the gap for your business if you're not able to address these things right now. So, learning from some of the examples we'll have today hopefully will guide you to these solutions. So, 15 hours plus wasted weekly when we talk about small to medium sized businesses that agents could easily crush for your business. We're going to talk about three quick wins today, actionable strategies that you can implement right now to allow your company to take advantage of these things. So, drop a comment, share this video with any business leaders who could really benefit from this, and visit the link in my bio if you want to go to the website and learn more about my company, the Data Expert, so you can pick up free tools that we have on the website today and allow you to get started on your journey. So, the move from from chatbots to agentic is pretty robust here for a lot of companies. Modern AI agents are able to plan, execute, and adapt independently. Companies are seeing 23% faster speed to market gains, a crazy high revenue lift of greater than 90% for small to medium sized businesses with targeted automation. There's a robust cost reduction with intelligent workflows, meaning a really great plan mixed with these tools is a crazy amount of overhead that you can start eliminating. On average, we're seeing about $500,000 in savings for enterprise AI deals where they're able to really rework a lot of their internal processes, especially centered around your knowledge bearers or the people who have the most knowledge. So, really, the hardest folks to get to pass that information on to the rest of the business. You're able to take that out of the situation from most of the people and start providing your customers with better services, better options, and especially internally. Your company, your team will truly benefit from having a workflow, an AI strategy, a data strategy that are all very robust and knowledgeable and take into account a lot of the KPIs you should be seeing from the rest of the business. Scott's Miracle Grow saved about $150 million on supply chain AI. Only 20% of CEOs are leading this charge. The question is, how does your company take advantage of these processes going forward? So SMBs are crushing it. I mean, 133% productivity jumps, aggressive implementation plans. Enterprises are definitely showing a bigger slowdown. This could be for several reasons, right? On this channel, we'll talk about it going forward. I've tried to start making more long form content to address these things as well. And we'll talk about why enterprises suffer, where medium sized businesses are able to move swiftly with an agile perspective on how to take advantage. But right now in Q4 2025, there's definitely a dip in enterprise adoption from 12 to 14% in rollouts. This is definitely due to skill gaps. What is the fix? So, the fix, as we've already seen at my company, is that there's a strong workflow design you definitely need to have. This means we come in and talk about redesign, but you can take advantage of the same task yourself. Really just working with sources online or trying to follow along with some of the content we make here as well. But the biggest issues are really your workflow design and your data. Clean data is unfortunately the very fundamental reason that artificial intelligence is successful, or at least data architecture and pipelines that are built out for success. So, what we're finding right now is that people are just running into this issue every day, every week, as decision makers and leaders for their organization, where they really want to take on AI or the greatest tools that are available. And the unfortunate situation at this point is your architecture is just not cut out for that situation. This was the truth 5 years ago before AI really started deploying. And it's becoming such a big issue now where we're seeing projects completely scrubbed from 2025 and pushed further down the line for most businesses because revisiting the data architecture, or at least how the data is stored, is crucial for success. So, again, when it comes to a success rate that you can depend on, the two places to really focus are on the workflows that exist and how does the data get fed into the system. Now, is it clean data? These are great, important questions. If you have questions on how we can align with you on this, you can always visit the link in my bio, and I'm happy to share more details on that as well. But please, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel and share this particular video with anybody that might find it interesting. Looks like Microsoft Copilot also is rolling out new tools this week where voice will be introduced into all Windows 11 products. So this is a big step too, as well as I'm a huge advocate of voice services on your technological devices at this point. I hate typing, and then I want to move so much faster than my mind can actually type at this point. So using voice activation and is going to be a big thing to look out, especially as security starts to roll out with these different elements. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens here. When it comes to Salesforce, another big name in AI, they've been leading the way in terms of huge enterprise development and huge enterprise workflow adoptions. They have talked about how Salesforce agents this past week, I believe they had their huge conference for Dreamforce. They've talked about how voice and hybrid reasoning for the next gen customer service workflows is on the way and is already being used now. Some of the organizations that I work with are definitely using these features from Dreamforce and Salesforce now. They're very impressive and they work on a huge, large scale of hundreds, if not thousands, of interactions at the same time. So, very, very good delivery when you talk about that. Mega partnerships delivered this week. OpenAI and NVIDIA talked about a $100 billion infrastructure play. Big numbers still being thrown around here, but it just reinforces the relationship between OpenAI and NVIDIA. OpenAI and Broadcom have also announced a $20 billion custom chip development program or partnership that they're working on. This shall be very interesting as well, as OpenAI is clearly diversifying their particular exposure to any one vendor, NVIDIA particularly in this place now. So very, very interesting to see how this will turn out. Oracle AMD, a partnership that is talking about explaining the cloud computing power. This is going to be very significant for enterprises and businesses. Again, the expenses with cloud computing have always been a challenging aspect. Architecting these particular workflows is always a challenging aspect. So, watching these companies create tools and partnerships that will start to eliminate these barriers to entry, it's going to be very important. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Oracle and AMD make of this as well. Underdogs that are winning big and that you should probably have on your radar. A couple of names here that I want you to check out. Reflection AI raised $2 billion as an NVIDIA backed organization for agent automation at enterprise scale. This is going to be very interesting, as again, the technical aspects of creating and maintaining agents are pretty difficult even to this day for enterprises. So, creating a program that is much simpler and allows for a less barrier of entry for non-technical folks and technical folks to work together at companies, it's going to be big. It's going to be very, very big. Peer AI funded $2.1 million for drug approval acceleration via regulatory agents. This is pretty big. I mean, regulatory agents are involved in decision making or at least categorization for drug approval processes. So we could be moving away from where processes took decades or the better part of a decade for drug development and moving to a place where it takes much less time and is able to process many more different solutions for the marketplace. So competition is great. Competition will drive down prices. This is one of the aspects that will do that as well. WorkFusion, Series D, $445 million Series D, powering compliance agents for financial services. This is an impressive company as well that I'm looking forward to hearing more about when it comes to financial services. AI adoption has always been risk heavy and financial services companies, legal companies are risk adverse. So where you can minimize risk or and guarantee these outcomes, you're certainly going to find more customers. Console, $23 million raised for IT ticket automation bots, saving hours daily. This is huge. Again, any productivity hours that you can relate to saving for time and hours saved is going to be a direct reflection on your P&L and any of the work that you have to take back to your senior leadership. So these are easy wins. If you have not heard of these companies, make sure you check them out. Lastly, Amazon seller agents are helping businesses scale to be really big figures, eight-figure revenues. Vertical AI offers no-code fine-tuning marketplace work. These are plays that enterprises are already betting on. So if you're curious where you can make a big wave for your business or your startup, think about how some of these places might start to stick out. Stick around this long into the video, I want to say thank you. Make sure you've liked and subscribed. Make sure you share this as well with other folks who could benefit. But we're going to go ahead and address the three quick wins for your Q4 playbook in 2025 that will help you get to AI implementation on a major scale. So, number one, what do your pilot agentic systems look like? Here's one that you could definitely use very quickly. But pilot agentic payment systems, you could deploy Google's AP2 for secure, open, standard e-commerce automations, right? This could be a huge deal if you're an e-commerce platform and you're already somebody who uses Google. Should not be a large implementation, but also should be a dramatic improvement on payment reconciliations and payment analyses. Number two, you could start to work on building custom workflows with your organization. Using Claude skills with folders and instructions for pro level operations would be an impressive task for your company to adopt here in Q4. Claude skills is a very new detail or development milestone that was dropped on the platform and through the API here recently. If you've not heard of it, I encourage you to look it up. Claude skills, it enables you to have the AI follow very specific guidelines for your company. So, like branding guidelines for things that it's making assets for. A lot of enterprises and medium sized businesses and small businesses have talked about how using Claude or OpenAI is problematic because it doesn't follow the rules every single time. Well, Skills is here to help you eliminate that. Number three, benchmarking multimodals. We would encourage you at my company, the data experts, to test out open source models as well as closed source or the foundational models at this point. So, Quinn 3 is an open source model that you can download or work with your administrative team to figure out how to download. And this could be used for document processing. It's a very low, very low cost, high throughput source that you could adopt or at least explore and start working in development today. So, when you're working in these three ways, I would make sure your company is focused on tracking your ROI. How much have you saved per week in the tasks that you've automated? How much in cost reduction could you depend on or estimate? And what are the revenue impact metrics that you would use to evaluate this to really understand the benefits from the work? We are not usually in the space of making predictions, but in the AI news roundup here, we just want to make sure we elaborate on some of the bigger stories that you'll see coming up. So, number one, AI agents are clearly headed towards retail and e commerce work if they're not already implemented. The predictions here is that autonomous commerce becomes the mainstream reality going into 2026. So I estimate my company estimates almost 30 to 40% of traffic in this way will be completely automated through through AI agents or chatbot alikes. Number two, China is set to overtake the US in benchmarks that matter to global AI leadership and obvious geopolitical reshaping. So I would encourage you and your business to see how that might affect your overall operations and ability to find customers. Number three, energy becomes the bottleneck. So, energy is most certainly going to become the bottleneck as major data centers reshape infrastructure investments here going forward. There's been numerous reporting on what is the impact from data centers. So I would encourage you to just spend some time and look that up. Great influencers on all platforms that have brought up numbers and realities that affect the communities where these data centers will go up. um, AI neutrality, geopolitics. So nations need to work on establishing their frameworks, but there are already some that have clearly taken this advantage to get that started, and there are some that have not started. So there's, for instance, the U.S. in general that has still very much a split logic on how to deal with this between state and federal. So neutrality geopolitics will certainly become a bigger discussion in 2026 as we continue to hear more. All right. I thank you for joining me today for the AI News Roundup with me, Ernest Provo, your host. Please like and share the video so we can spread and get the community grow a little bit more here. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for weekly AI drops, specifically for business leaders, but we talk about personal stuff as well. So make sure you hit the link in my bio and join me on the other social media platforms. Follow along for my Substack as well, where we deliver very personal information and allow folks to sign up in the newsletter group for different information that is just for our paid subscribers. So I appreciate you tuning in. Till next week, enjoy your day.